Zendaya thought she was safe, until she realized something was watching her in the dark. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to write a Zendaya horror short. Let's get into it. We find Zendaya walking down a long, eerie hallway. The only light comes from the flickering neon sign above her, casting long shadows that dance around her as she walks. She looks exhausted. Her eyes are heavy, and her shoulders are slumped over. You see, Zendaya had just finished a late-night shoot, and all she wanted to do was go back to her hotel, change into some comfy clothes, and sleep. But now, walking back to her room, she couldn't help but feel like something was off. Every floor she passed was eerily quiet. No one was outside their rooms. No music was playing. Nothing. It was as if the entire hotel was empty. As she rounded the corner to her room, the lights flickered once more, and Zendaya felt a chill run down her spine. She could have sworn that she saw her reflection in the mirror across the hall, but when she turned to look, there was no one there. Her heart began to race as she fumbled for her keys. Was she alone in the hotel? Had everyone left and she just hadn't noticed? Or was there someone else here with her? As she stepped into the room, she let out a sigh of relief. But it was short-lived, because as she turned to lock the door, she saw a pair of feet in front of her. She screamed and jumped back, knocking over the only chair in the room. Stunned, she watched as the figure in front of her slowly turned around. "Who are you?" she whispered, her voice trembling. But before the figure could answer, Zendaya turned and ran, sprinting down the hallway. She could hear the figure's footsteps behind her, getting closer, pounding on the floor as she ran. She could feel her heart beating in her chest, her breath catching in her throat. She had to get away. She turned to her right, desperate to find another way out, but the doors were all locked. She tried to remember which room was hers, but in her panic, she couldn't recall. Then she saw it, the flickering light from the neon sign beckoning her closer. Maybe there was an emergency exit. She dashed towards it, flinging open the door. But before she could escape, a hand shot out, grabbing her wrist and pulling her back. She screamed, thrashing wildly, trying to free herself, but it was no use. The grip on her wrist was too strong, and then she heard a voice, a raspy whisper in her ear. "Let me show you something." The last thing Zendaya remembered was the piercing stare of those red eyes. We find Zendaya sitting on the edge of the bed in her room, the door wide open. She's still breathing heavily from her sprint down the hallway. Her phone is on the nightstand flashing, but she's too scared to look. Suddenly, the phone stops flashing and a message pops up. Zendaya's heart sinks when she sees who the message is from. It's the front desk. The message reads, "I'm already inside.